I think if you looked at this through a different lens, because when you look at it the other way, just say, okay, I've got all this new sales coming in. You're looking at it as a one-time transaction. Hey, I made the sale. It's done. Nobody cares anymore. Versus looking at this the way we look at it. And when I say we, I mean, like you and I and everybody that we walk through this process is nobody ever leaves the sales process. Like I'm continually selling them on staying here every single month. Now that may sound exhausting, but you can put a lot of things in place that would facilitate that. And this is kind of, I think it's a bit misleading if it's like, hey, retention is not your problem. Well, I disagree wholeheartedly. Having seen the inside of a lot of gyms, there are massive retention problems going on there. And if you're bringing in $20,000 or even $10,000 a month new sales, and you are not stacking that month over month, well, by definition, you have a retention problem. Like I don't know how like that. Anybody who's going to say you don't, that is nonsense, and you should walk away from that conversation. You can't look at it that way. It has to be a continual service-based resale, meaning like they want to stay there. It is not a mandatory transaction for them to stay there. And if I look at it long term and I bring the number down, like, well, let me do $5,000 of new sales this month and then stack that month over month. And I'm getting a $3,000 increase month over month versus a $20,000 increase. But the number that I bring in, I focus on and give them a way better experience. And then their likelihood of staying is not 120 days, it is 22 to 24 months. This is how you start to hit really high gross revenue numbers that is now a reoccurring revenue number that doesn't require a front end funnel that does $20,000 in sales to hit that number again, right? So it's always the question I would ask is like, if you turn that funnel off right now, what does your sales look like next month? And there's many instances where like, well, it looks $20,000 less than it is right now. That's a fucking problem. A real problem, because you are not liquid in any way, shape, or form. Like that is, you are now quite, and we probably saw it in many instances in COVID where you are now 30 to 60 days away from being out of business.